Hello, this is Uncle Jim, and I'll be trying Hodgdon's Longshot for the first time in 10 millimeter, and there's already drama. so, this is what it looks like right here. Let's see if I can bring you in. There we go. Okay, it's a little chunkier than 231, stuff like that, but not as chunky as Unique, so it throws pretty good, and that's good. Happy with that. So here's the drama. Their data has changed in 10 millimeter, and I'm on their site right now. And for a 180 grain bullet, this is an Acme bullet, their max charge is now 8.4 grains. And then on another 180 grain bullet, it's 8.2 grains max charge. Now here's the deal. About in 2019, about 3 years ago, um, their max charge was something like 9.5, and a big favorite load for most people were about 9 grains with a 180 grain bullet. And bullets are different and everything, but this is the same data. So what has happened? Has the powder changed, or did they dumb down the load data? So I was all ready to, start at 9 grains, and now it looks like, nope, better not do that. And so I'm going to go down to 8. I might even go a little lower, stick it out there on the chronograph, check my brass, and see what the hell's going on. Hornady has theirs a little lower in their manual. And my other manuals really don't have Longshot and a 180 grain bullet. So I had to nose around online, and that's where I found out that they changed the data, because now people are confused. They have their favorite pet load, say it's 9 grains, and it's way beyond max. The other thing is, on the load data, they increased the pressure to 35 and change with a lesser charge and lowered the feet per second. So you have higher PSI, lower feet per second. What the heck is going on here? So powders do change. I mean, if you use an old manual, you have to be careful because powders change over the years. But did they change the powder, or did they change the data? So having not used this powder before, I'm going to have to go with the lower data. Of course, you got to be smart about this. Starting load is 7.5 grains. So I'm already confused. The other bullet lists it as 3,600 pounds psi pressure. And Sammy, I believe, is like 37 and change for max. And that is with 8.2 grains. What the hell is going on? So I saw where someone did a quick load on this because they saw the difference and what the heck's going on. And the quick loads is all wacky. And some say that straight wall cases, quick loads can be funky. And that doesn't make any sense. So, what would you do? I guess I'm going to start lower and, go from there. I have a dedicated 10 millimeter manual, but it's older and it's not helping me at all either. So, I have to go with up to date load data from Hodgdon themselves. And just go from there and check my brass and decide on my own which way to go. It's a cluster. I thought this would be easy, like most others. All right. All right, so the Hornady Ninth with their bullet lists it at 8.2 grains max charge. But why did Hodgdon change? Anyway, I'm going to be using this mold. Cranky let me borrow. It's the Arsenal 180 grain. It's a great bullet. And it seats right about down to here. So, I was going to go as low as 8, but I think I'm going to have to go lower and start with 7 point something grains and then go to 8 and watch the brass and the chronograph and, touchy-feely and see what the hell's going on here. I'm using Winchester large pistol primers for both regular and Magnum, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's see how she throws. I got her close. Hey, if we use less powder, we're saving money, right? Okay, let me tear this out. 118. This needs a battery. Eight grains. Man, that's okay. 8.1. Throw that one again. It's a little chunkier. 8 grain, flickering, 8 grains. Make sure I'm on 71.8 on my shell weight. Just using a sacrificial shell, and I'm gonna weigh these suckers. Eight grains. So it throws pretty good. Might be a 1/10 off, but as long as you're not super up there on the max. That one's flickering with 7, 9, and 8. Now it's 8. That's good enough for me just to check on the chrono. The other thing is my brass isn't new, and that would be a good idea to use new brass for testing this, but it's not. Okay, so there's my maxes, and then I'll decide what to start with. Okay, let's decide on a starting load. They say 7.5 grains. Let's just spin her the wheel, roll of the dice. Let's see what that does. And wherever she lands, we use. No. Let's see here. 6.9. You and your wheel. Okay, let's do that. I'll get rid of this. See if you can double charge. Nope. Okay. All right. 7.6. All right. We'll do 7.6 it is. 76. That's a good year. All right, this is what the case fill looks like. This is 8, and this is 7.6. Using a 6-shooter Texan tray. He sent me one in 40, and I didn't have a 40, and it works awesome in 10. So the trays are awesome, no slippage, no spillage. 6-shooter Texan. All right, for my test loads, I just use scrap paper, and I just go by and score each shell, whatever color it is. Usually red is going to be my hot round, hotter. And so I just mark it like that, and it saves time having to mark each shell. Ooh, all right. Okay, this is 8 grains, and there's lots of space. It's almost too much, actually. Don't know about that. I think Longshot likes to be on the upper end, but we'll see. All right, the battery on the digital scale was kind of wacky, and I want to make sure. Dead on, applied directly to the forehead. All right. Okay, so I'm glad I went with the modern data instead of 9 grains or 9.5. All right, this is 7.6 grains, close to their starting load, round primers. This is 8 grains, close to their max load, a little more flattening of the primers. This is 8.2 grains, their max with a 180 grain bullet. This is a 177 grain that I shot with these last two. And it all depends on what type of bullet you have, how far it's seated, your volume, and all that stuff. All right, so this is 8.2, what they call their max. So the primer still is okay, and I was hoping to get over 1,300 feet per second starting off, and I got there with 8.2. So I could bump it up a little more. I want a load that is accurate, gets 1,325, 1,350 feet per second with a 180 grain bullet. I'm totally happy with that. I'm not beating up the gun, and it's just, great to shoot. So that's where I'm looking at, and that'll take care of business. So now, I had all kinds of problems with different brass as far as diameter with the bullet seated in there and chamber checking. All right, now for some of the problems I was having with brass and thickness. So your max right here, where the bulge from the lead bullet, your max is 423. This one's 4235. And I was having problems with federal brass. I have all kinds of brass. I have the original Norma, any brand of brass. But federal, I was getting too much thickness. This one right here is 424. Now let me show you the difference. I'm using a Lone Wolf Alpha Wolf barrel because it has a tighter circumference in the chamber, so your brass isn't expanding so much, and it's very reliable, and it doesn't seem to be ogive picky at all. I love this barrel, and that's what I want to use for reloading lead and shooting hot rounds and saving your brass life. This is the original Glock barrel. The newer barrels, you don't get smileys or anything like that, but it's more forgiving on the chamber walls or All right. A friend of mine, when he got out of 10 millimeter, gave me this gauge. This is a max gauge, and it is fine with the 5 thou over, not 5 thou, 0.5 thou over. But when you get to this one, and you can see the kind of bulge here, there's no way, Jose. No way, Jose. Now here's the funny part. This is slightly over max, and it's okay in the Lone Wolf, all right? But you can feel it. You can just feel it. It's telling you, oh, you're half a thou over, all right? Here is the one that won't go in the gauge, but the Glock will eat it all day long. It will eat it all day long. And that's good for reliability. But the brass is going to expand and be worked every time you shoot a hot load in it. And that's fine, but I want to use this barrel. I love that barrel. So I'm pulling my hair out because I'll get some rejects. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm going through with different brass. The Winchester is thinner. The last two hot loads I shot, the ones that went 1,325 feet per second, these were Midway, those were Midway, and I don't know who makes Midway, but it's similar to Winchester. Starline is probably going to be thicker, so I got to figure all this out. And all I have are Dillon dies on the turret here, other than the flare die. And so I ordered a Lee factory crimp die, and hopefully that'll iron anything out with the carbide ring, but we will see. Maybe it won't. I might have to change the bullet diameter. These are all exactly 401 diameter, which is what you use for lead. And I made sure of that. So I might have to roll ream. Lee doesn't make a 400 bullet sizer, so I might have to roll ream a 358, which I have almost a 359. I got extras of those, and I'll roll ream that. I've done videos on that, but all my videos are deleted and lost because I got kicked off of YouTube. But I might have to go there and just take a little hair off so it's slightly under 401 diameter, so it's happy with all the brass. But I got to experiment with the original Norma, the real 10 millimeter brass, Starline, all of them, PMC, all of them. So for now, I was pulling my hair out because I picked out Federal to use, and I got a bunch of rejects. So anything left over, I don't have to pull because I can shoot them in the Glock barrel. But it's driving me crazy. So that's where I'm at. And it's not just this bullet. I was doing the Tin Man bullet, and I had issues with the same thing. Every once in a while, I'd get a bulged one. And I thought, well, maybe it's seating crooked and it's bulging on one side. I changed the complete turret out because I got one of their ones that weren't, cut perfectly during the shortage, and that wasn't it at all. So, and I changed cedars. So, I hope this makes sense to you guys. But I'm very happy with this barrel here because I know I can run them hot and not worry about it. It's got the exact same chamber as this gauge. Okay, so more on that later. I do want to say I love Longshot because it doesn't flash like Blue Dot would, a big fireball. You can see in the video there was no flash, and that's awesome. And it meters great. I also love the little Holison here, the 407K, and the C&H mount. The mount for the red dot isn't like others. You're not going to snap screws and have it hit you in the face. It has bushings in case you strip the screw, and it is rock solid. So I love that too. And also the Pro Chrono, which has 7 lives left. Previous videos, I've drowned it, dried it out, I've dropped it, broken the switch, and it still lives, and it gives you consistent chronograph data no matter what the lighting. I love that chronograph. Hopefully the cat lives to see another day. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned on this. I hope you found something interesting anyway. Until next time.